Welcome everyone to our webinar, 5 Steps to One-to-One Marketing. My name is Diana and I'm very happy to have all of you here. Thank you so much for joining us today. As a housekeeping rule, please remember to download our handouts for this webinar on our GoToWebinar control panel. You can find it there, download it and share with your team. Also, please feel free to pose any questions that you have during the webinar, and we're going to answer them at the end of the webinar on questions and answer time. So let's get started. Thank you, everyone. Hi to everyone that always joins us every month for this webinar. And let's get started so we can take advantage of the time that we have. So before we start, we just want to define what is one-to-one marketing. It's also known as individual marketing or personalization marketing, and it's about a strategy. It's a marketing strategy by which companies leverage data analysis. This is a keyword, data analysis and digital technology. We have the data and we use the technology to deliver individualized messages and product offerings to current or prospective customers. We're talking about a strategy, a marketing strategy, and it's very important that today, with everything that we're living as a society, with the digital revolution and everything, as marketers, we need to understand this strategy because we're aiming to have one-on-one relationships with our customers. That's the focus here. And we had webinars about customer-centric marketing and all of that. And all these strategies are looking for one thing, and it's to have one-on-one, one-to-one relationships with our customers. That's what we're aiming for. So marketing today is all about data and personalization. This is what's happening today, and this is gonna continue to be the trend with marketing. We will be able to have access to more data every time, and we need to use this data to have and create our personalization marketing strategy. That's what we're looking for. And this is why this type of topics are very important as marketers. Also, if we work on sales, we need to understand everything that we're talking today, because that will help us close more sales, because we're going to know more about our customers, and by knowing them, we're going to be more personal to them, and our brands are going to be more personal. Our products and our services are going to be more personal to them. So why personalization matters? This is a question that some of you asked when you joined the webinar while you registered. Why this is important? Some of you didn't understand what we wanted to share today. So I personally believe that answer these questions with facts will help you understand what are we looking for. So according to Marketing Profs, they do lots of research. Business that personalize web experiences see an average of 19% increase in sales. So we're talking about web, right? And that's gonna be the trend in web and everything. All the experience needs to be personalized. And if we want to go further, Epsilon research says that 80% of consumers are more likely to do business with a company if it offers a personalized experience. So what are we looking for? Personalized experience. By knowing more about our customers, we're gonna be able to deliver a personalized experience, and they're waiting for that. Also, Rap Media research says that 63% of consumers say they will think more positively of a brand if it gave them content that was more valuable, interesting, and relevant. So let's have this in mind when we start our steps. Content is a very important key to all of this. And we're going to see it going further. And other research says personalized email, we're talking about now email marketing. These email messages improved click-through rates by an average of 14% and conversions by 10%. When it's a big difference when you get the emails that first are personalized. It goes beyond having your name on it. It's about the content. It's not about it's easy to automate emails with my name, with my last name, but we're talking about the content. We're talking about what is the message that we're sending to our customers? Are they really looking for that? Are they really expecting that from us? So that's what's important about email marketing. So also Salesforce research says that high-performing businesses use data-driven targeting and segmentation 51% more than underperforming businesses. So that's what we want. And that leads us to our first step. We must understand segmentation. And now segmentation is evolving. And that's why I like this saying here, stop segmenting and start profiling. So what is this now? So you're saying that segmentation, it's no longer the answer. Well, segmentation needs to come from the macro to the micro. So we're gonna start profiling our customers because the fact is that with all this social media revolution, we're reaching lots of people. We must segment our customers to the point that we have very few profiles that will represent who is our customers. And we're gonna see this going further this webinar. So the first step in achieving personalization lies in understanding your target audience. That is basic. This means going far beyond demographics. So it's not only our demographic insights, that social media is very good with that, giving us these demographics insights, and we need to go further. We need to take an in-depth look at their interests, attitudes, perceptions, and behaviors. Why my consumers are behaving in a certain way? What are their interests? Why are they having these attitudes? Why are they having these perceptions? What are the perceptions that they have with our brand, with our products, with our service? We need to know all of this. So that's part of what we're looking for when segmenting, right? So today brands have access to deep data that quantifies an individual consumer's attitudes and behaviors, interests, and perceptions, allowing them to go far beyond demographics. So we need to take advantage of all of this data that we have in our hands to go deeper. So what we're looking for is to create micro audiences that came on the scene as a means of segmenting small groups, obviously of like-minded. That's what social media is. It's a network. It's a community of people that have the same interests. But since we have a community, we need to aim to have this one-on-one relationships. And what we're looking for is to have these individuals, target them to know and influence their thoughts or actions. We are the ones that need to influence over them. It's our brands. That's what also we have influencer marketing, because we need to know who are the people that are listening to, and these are the people that have an influence over our customers. So it also relies on understanding the target audience so well that marketers will also have a very good idea as to how these people will respond. So it's not only knowing what they will like, we will know what actions they will take. And that's going deeper. So audience profiling is now the most effective way to define, segment, and target customers in the digital space. All of this with the big data that we're gathering over our social media communities using technology, we're gonna get these insights, with insights that quantify not only the what but the why. It's not only the what now. We need to understand why. Why are they behaving the way they are? So it will be easier for us to deliver the right message. That's what we want. We need to understand what's the right message. We need to understand the language. What is it? What are the words, the keywords that they're using in when they're having conversations? That's how we're gonna create our message. The right audience, that's why we're segmenting in the right way. So if we don't do this formula, if we don't create this perfect formula, we're never gonna connect with our customer. This kind of profiling, analyzing interests, attitudes, behaviors, and perceptions is what makes personalization possible. Without this, personalization can't happen. So our second step, and this is very important, we need to learn how to create our customer buyer persona. I don't know if some of you have heard this. It's been around for a couple of years. It has always been about profiles, and we do have profiles of our customers online. So now we're going to take this to the next level. We're gonna create a buyer persona that is a profile that represents your ideal customer by creating your own buyer. It's something that you create. You will gain the ability to tailor your marketing efforts and connect with your target audience to meet their needs and solve their problems. We need to understand their needs because we need to deliver solutions. That's the only way. So how do we define this? These buyer personas are fictitious representations of your consumers. It's an exercise, and I recommend that you do this as a team. You gather your sales team, your marketing team, your service team. Everyone will have a scene about who is our customer. So you're gonna create this using in-depth insights into your target audience. This will empower marketers with the knowledge they need to get inside the minds of their target audience and build the radical empathy that's needed to make real connections. We are able, by doing this exercise, to create empathy because we're going to talk about their pains. We're going to talk about their problems. These are real people. These are people with problems, with families. So we're not going to be looking at this persona as this customer as a person that is just one person that I need to sell to. We're gonna see it as a person. That's why it's buyer persona. So we're also it will help us as marketers to put a face and a personality behind the consumers they want to target, as painting a more accurate picture of their lives, needs, and wants. We're gonna understand what are their personality, and we're gonna understand their environment. We're gonna understand their lifestyles, and by knowing all of this, we'll create this empathy, and we're gonna be able to create the right message. And that's very important because we're talking, marketing is all about communicating. And we need to have feedback, and we need to actually communicate what they're expecting of us, not what is easy for us. So this is an example of a buyer persona that I recommend that you have a meeting with your team and create this persona, this user persona type. And you're probably gonna create them with you're gonna create probably more than one depending on your product or service. For example, I have one for the typical marketing manager. I could have one for the sales director. I can have one from the IT. I'm talking about my obviously the way my company works and what my products works and services. So I know who is my target audience. So I create these different buyer personas to identify their needs, and because they're all gonna have different needs, but you do as an exercise to actually go deeper. So it's very interesting. You can even create a quotation that captures this user's personality. You're gonna write about the goals, the frustrations. You're gonna create a biography. You're also gonna get these demographic insights that we're not taking this out. We're just doing more with this user buyer type. You're gonna create this personality. All the things that motivates them, what are the brands and influence that they have, or what are the preferred channels that they have. So when we're talking about these channels, this is how that we're going to deliver this message the right way, because we're going to know what are the channels that that are more important to them. It's very interesting. You're going to know that online and social media in this case is the most important one. Then you see, it's also important for this buyer persona referrals. So we start thinking creating strategies, how I'm going to create a referral campaign, what I'm going to do online and social media. So that leads us to the next step, is mapping the consumer journey. When we already have this buyer persona, we know that there is a journey with this customer, and we need to create this journey so we can start knowing what to do. So a customer journey map is a visual representation of every experience your customers have with you. It's all about all the experience that the customers has with you, right? But we are trying to personalize this experience even more. So it helps to tell the story of a customer's experience with your brand, from original engagement, when you first engage them with you call the attention, and into hopefully a long-term relationship. That's what we're looking for. Because the more you know your customer, you have more chance to have a long-term relationship, and that's what we want as marketers, as brand managers. We want our customers to have a long-term relationship with our brands. We want to become love brands. Your customers can come into contact with your business in different ways and from many different starting points. For example, we can reach them with marketing, we can reach them with referrals, search, social media, customer service inquiries, and above the line campaigns. There's many ways we can get in touch with them. So these touch points are the key to understanding. So what are the benefits of a customer journey map? This is another exercise that I recommend that you sit down with your team and make it happen. So some of the benefits, it's that you're helping you see where customers interact with your business. This is gonna help us see this. How is our customers interacting with our business? It's going to help us focus the business on particular customers' needs at a different stage of the buying funnel. We know we already have our funnel, but how are we going to interact with them? Because they're going to have different needs in every different stage. It's going to help us identify whether the customer journey is in a logical order. This is very important. We can make these mistakes. It's going to give us an outside perspective on your sales process. So you see how important it is to involve sales and marketing. They should always work together with all of these exercises. So marketing needs to understand how this sales process works in your company, because they're going to have different needs in every different stage. It's going to show the gaps between the desired customer experience and the one that they're getting. They have a desired customer experience. As we mentioned before, the personalized experience, that's the desire that they have. With the one that they actually are getting, are receiving, we need to know where are the gaps, allowing you to also concentrate efforts on what matters most to maximize effectiveness. So we're gonna be able to focus our efforts on what's really important, because we have lots of things to do. It's overwhelming, all the things that we have to do. So the more we personalize, the more we get into the one-on-one relationship, we're gonna know what matters to them. So this is an example of what's the Journey Builder inside of Marketing Cloud. This is just for something to show you so you can understand a little bit more about what we're talking about. And if you need any more, if you need to go deeper with this Journey Builder, you just have to ask us and we can set up a demo with this, because this is what's helping lots of brands. And also with automation, that's the way we're actually connecting with our customers. So you can see that all of these touch points, they're going to have different responses, they're going to have different actions, and we need to know what to do with all of these actions that our customers are doing. So that leads us to the fourth step. We're talking about data, we're talking about big data, all of these insights that we have. So how do we turn this data into insights? That's the strategic mind that we must have as marketers. We have lots of data. How do we turn this to insights that actually can be something that we can use for as a message, as a campaign, and all of that? So what we're learning today is that brands have access to a wealth of data. But given this data, the leverage it needs to drive meaningful creative lies in the creation of insights. That's our job as marketers. We are always looking for these insights, because finding data without context is worthless. So the path to identify an actionable insight, that's a keyword there, that will drive sales lies in matching your consumers to your objectives and asking the right questions. That's why after this, we're going to see what are the right questions to ask now. So creating personalized messages that resonate starts with understanding the perceptions. We need to understand what are they thinking. The perception is what are their thoughts about our brand, our services, our products. Even what do they think about our salespeople, our service people, and the behaviors you want to shift. And how do we do this? We quantify current perceptions of your brand. This is another exercise. How can I split my audience into target groups that align with my goals? So we go back to segmenting. We go back to profiling. Validate the perception changes that will drive revenue. So we We quantify the perceptions. We validate these perception set changes because we want to drive revenue. Identify the perceptions that will drive or block repeat purchasing. Because we're trying to have a long-term relationship, we need to identify what are the perceptions that will drive if we want more, and we unblock so we can fix it. So we also need to create a message that will change perceptions. You know, if we understand these perceptions, we need to create messages to change these things. Define and test a message that will successfully change perceptions among your target audience. We need to define, we need to test. Everything that we do on social media, I always say this, it's a lab. It's a lab for marketers. It's a lab for all of us that are trying to understand our customers and package this message into engaging formats. What are the formats that when we have this buyer persona, we're going to understand what are the formats. Do they want emails? Do they want a phone call? Lots of our customers, they don't want you to call them. They want be contacted by WhatsApp, by a Facebook message. So we need to understand what are the engaging formats that they want. Turn your messaging into engaging campaigns that will have impact. Now, when we have these insights, we can create these campaigns that will have impact into their lives because we know them and we know what's the right message to deliver. So what are the right questions when we put everything that we're learning to practice? Am I targeting the right audience? What defines this audience? What matters to them? What motivates them? What interests them? Who and what do they follow when we talked about influence marketing? Where are their perceptions of our brands? We will always have this keyword here because perceptions are very important. Which perceptions drive or block this purchasing? How are they interacting with us? Are they engaging with our content? What does their purchase journey look like? What is this map that we're drawing? What are the touch points that matters the most? What trends can we identify with these customers? Because we also need to have this idea of creating new things for them, business opportunities. So this leads us again to our final step. All of this, I hope it's making sense to all of you. And our final step is content marketing, because when we follow all of these steps, we need to make this work with our messages, and we're talking about content marketing. And to understand more about content marketing, we also need to understand about inbound marketing, because outbound, it's one way where we're looking for inbound. That is two ways. Our focus here is to attract with our content. So this is also the way we want. How we attract them, and these are the actions that we can do. How we can we start from being passive to getting leads and then converting them. What do we do to convert them? Then we create candidates. How do we do to engage them? Then we create applicants. How do we do to optimize all this journey? So we need to understand where in these steps that we're seeing here with inbound marketing, where is my customers? I'm going to have customers in the first stage. How do I attract them? How do I convert them? How do I engage with them? How do I optimize their experience going further? So customers value content that is useful, relevant, and entertaining. So the more tailored it is, the better it will perform. So today's consumer expects personalized content. It's not something that we are thinking, or this is the new trend. No. The consumers are expecting personalized content, and we need to understand the benefits of content marketing. You're going to have brand awareness. You're going to have a competitive advantage, media visibility. You're going to have more leads, you're gonna have more conversions, client engagement, website traffic. All of this, if you can create a successful content marketing strategy. So this is how the content marketing model works. You first attract visitors. How do you do that? You have different options: blog posts, articles, web content, videos. What are the formats that our customers like the most? Then you gather content information. How? With e-newsletters, with webinars, ebooks, white papers. How do we get this information? More interaction. Now, if they want more interactions, they're more interested in our products. Then we have demos. Then we have assessments. Then we have phone calls. How do they request all these things? Do we have to visit them? Do we have to make an appointment? We need to know how this content marketing model works, because we cannot stay only in attracting visitors and doing all of this without understanding that there is a way to get to the next stage, and we need to understand that. So we're gonna just finish our webinar with some examples that I think are very interesting. You're gonna see that we know about these brands, and these are successful stories about how personalization can actually work. And after this, we're gonna have response some of the questions, and then we have to say goodbye. First, the share a Coke with. Remember this, this is a very successful campaign that Coca-Cola did, and it was about personalizing their label. So it became very viral. It became something that people were looking for, not only their names, they were looking for names with their friends, with their families, and they were sharing all over social media this the product. And it's all about the essence of Coca-Cola, because Coca-Cola is sharing. They want to be in the moments that you share with everyone. So it makes sense for them, and it was a very successful campaign. And we're gonna go to Amazon's recommended purchases. Amazon, I think, is let's say killing it with personalization marketing, because they, based on our purchase histories and our all the things that we're searching online and on Amazon, they recommend purchases, and they're very good at it. Also Netflix, what's to watch next? Netflix is one of the brands that has been leading the way in personalization, also using the recommendation engines to tailor content to their users. Now, with their success, they are also messaging, and they're also they extended this level of personalization to their email communication. That's why you see now that if some of you have Netflix, you will see that they send you an email. You probably will like this new movie. You will probably will like this new show, this documentary, based on the things that you like, because they already know. That's what's very important to them, to have a profile for each person that are using the account, because they tailor everything according to your research. So it's about personalization. It's about recommendations. And this is how they make it important. They make it special for us. Also, Spotify with the Discover Weekly. So it's the same thing. You listen and save songs. Lots of the users create billions of playlists. Spotify develops your taste profile. They identify similar songs that appear on those playlists. So Spotify finds songs that fit your profile, but that you haven't listened to. And that's the beauty of this.